Trapper Ed, I'm just a busy little beaver today. You know, fall's coming, so I gotta cut down my aspens and, you know, repair the dam to dam the nation and, you know, make sure the hut's all good and the feed cage is good. You know, just like Andrew Stanley's got to go about his business with, you know, shooting his moose and killing the bears that want to try to raid his pantry later on. You know, nip that shit in the bud. You know, make sure everything's all coped around the cabin before the snow flies, so we can get to the business of hunting and trapping like you're supposed to. And I say amen to that. You know, how's a man supposed to eat otherwise? You know, Ted's talking about getting up early and looking for a job. Look, I work for myself. If I want to smoke a little weed, because I'm old and I got creaky bones and my sight isn't good, you know, so be it. Let Grandpa to his own devices. At least I ain't snorting coke or hitting that bottle. That bottle's evil. I told him, man, every time you put your lips to that bottle or glass, it's another kiss that you're giving to the devil. Yeah, you say the same thing about smoking. But it takes you down slower, generally. And if you really look at the truth is it's persecuted because law enforcement has to have something to target, because they can't target booze drinkers. That's legal. They can target drunk drivers, and do and should. Just the same as they should target anybody that's driving under the influence of narcotics and so on and so forth. But it's interesting to see that the Canadians, you know, they view like any drug use as narcotics. They're very strict. And I checked out that interview with what's his name there? Stand By Me. Saying his name ain't necessary. People know. The point being is they've got a hard-on for weed smokers because they've permeated our whole society with this weed agenda, so that they can, it's like sowing a cloud, you know, so that it will rain later, so they can get, you know, a harvest. And it's the same way with this internet, this TPP that Obama's trying to shove out, saying, oh, we're not going to roll it back. We're not going to roll back our technology and our pay-to-play partnership with law enforcement and oppressive governments and societies that like to torture their victims to death and so on and so forth. And falsely accuse and falsely imprison their citizenry. I mean, no greater countries ever existed as far as imprisonment than America. America imprisons 25% or larger of the global population of all prisoners. So those are the statistics. Not only do we murder 33,000 Americans every year with guns, most of those being handguns, 13,000 of those being self-inflicted suicides, the other portion being homicides by, you know, assault, battery, various different sundry items. But not all the homicides in America of the 33,000 were even committed by guns. Most of the deaths are by beatings and stabbings. So they skew all the figures. You can't trust their numbers. They're liars, thieves, and murderers themselves. And their whole mission is to grab the society's guns and put people away for being crazy or not being correctable to their agenda, politically correct. They're politically incorrect and they're incorrigible, so we need to lock them away. We can't let him have a gun. We can't let her hunt. Oh no, she'll kill everybody. You know, and then the next thing you know, it's like It's just a de facto standard, just like it was a few years ago when they started cutting people off from food stamps and cash resources, and people stayed at home, and then they didn't have any ways or means, so people started saying, oh, well, they're under house arrest. No, they weren't. They're just cut off and ignored by people because that people don't want to face the truth that America's a gulag. It's become a racist gulag of hate and warmongering war pigs that flash mob malls and wherever they want to go and can control. All they have to do is raise their voice and whine and cry like babies because they're entitled to everything for free. They're not supposed to work at anything or anything's worth of value. You know, you didn't earn it. You didn't earn it. You didn't create it. You didn't think it up in your brain. You didn't write it down. You didn't sweat tears and shit out blood to make it happen. That ain't you. So fuck you. It's a communist state, a socialist government, and we the people control all this stuff now. You don't own shit. You have no privacy. Your privacy's been totally fucking invaded. Hello? Oh, wait. I gotta go. Somebody's calling me, but before I go, let me offer this up as an eternal sacrament to Peter Tosh and Bob Marley and the Wailers. In particular, Bunny Weller, Bunny Livingston, Robbie Shakespeare. He went fishing, got a big wahoo. And the laminate. He definitely got the laminate. And we were cruising through Hawthorne way back when. And I had the smell of Long Beach and San Pedro still in my nostrils. You know, coming over the bridge and stuff. And I was like, I love that smell in the morning. It smells like victory. Here, let me take another puff for good measure. Flick of my Bic goes out to everybody. Not one thumb up, 2 thumbs up on the TPP Toilet Paper Productions. It gave me a lightning bolt of an idea like the bus. 28 bucks. I think it's 33 now up to San Francisco from LA. It doesn't go nowhere else. You can't get it anywhere else. You can't go. Once you get up to San Francisco, you're stuck. But anyways, I'll let you figure that shit out. But you can take your bike for 15 extra bucks or something, I think. But why? When you could buy a used one for 20 off the street. Probably better than the one you got. Fresh. Anyways, it did give me this concept album that I'm working on now. Kind of bouncing off Let It Be, the Beatles, and then Rolling Stone came out with their hypocritical Let It Bleed, you know, the punk rock version, greaser, head banging type of crowbar mentality of revolution in the street, Let It Bleed. And I thought, well, why don't we soften it up a bit, because I'm not really into violence and blood shedding and stuff, and I thought it'd be better to just, you know, revisit Jimi Hendrix's reality of, you know, take some psychedelics and get more mellow, smoke some more weed, and hey, pass that bottle if you have to. But I say no alcohol, please. It distorts the senses, and smoking's bad for your lungs. So vaporize whenever possible. Go with edibles, and not too many of those psychedelics, please. You might just see something. Other than that, love generation, man. Let the love spread and permeate your soul versus hate and war. There's no future in it. So I thought about this new concept, and I'm starting to work on it. Let it tweet. Let it tweet. You know, in honor of Donald Trump and his new tweeter campaign, I thought, okay, let's do a concept album, sort of like Genesis or something, only we'll call it Let It Tweet. Adios, Trapper Red. Over and, well, they don't get that time is down. Usually say time is up. Not in this case, it ain't. Had to go down to get the time. Late.